Hey everybody, it's Kim and welcome to another educational video by the Entropy System. Today's video topic was suggested and voted upon by our patrons. If you are interested in becoming a patron and helping shape the content of our channel, a link to our Patreon is in the description below. So the actual topic that was voted upon was how we prefer medical professionals to interact with us when they find out that we're a system. But I'm altering that just a little bit for two reasons. First, that is really close to giving like medical advice, which we are not qualified to give. And two, the way we want medical professionals to treat us is basically the way we want anybody else to treat us. So what I'm going to do instead is 7 ways to treat a system. And that is the title of this video because it's very catchy, but what we're gonna say here, or what I'm gonna say, is pretty much, you know, the only thing I can guarantee is that this is how we feel. Being multiple is not like a universal, like same, like every system is different, so just because this is what we prefer doesn't mean it's what everybody prefers, but that's hard to summarize into a title, so that's my disclaimer. This is 7 ways we like to be treated as a system. Number 1 on the list, ask questions. Like seriously, we know you have questions, you're going to have a lot of them, and that's okay. We know that this isn't something, you know, that people widely understand. I feel like it's not only a great way to help you feel comfortable, like if you're interacting with the system, but it helps us feel comfortable as a system, because it shows us that you care. Like you care and you want to at least understand to some, you know, extent. We feel like if you ask questions, it will help you feel more comfortable around us and, you know, kind of getting to know us. And it also helps us feel, you know, more reassured that you, as someone who we care about in our life, are, you know, invested at least a little bit in trying to get to know us and understand us. So asking questions is a very encouraged thing with us. 2, please be honest with your comfort level. Not everybody is going to be like, oh, okay, you're a system, let me immediately adjust to that. So we've had people that we care about, we've talked about being a system, and they say, okay, I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive into that yet. You know, they're not being mean. They're not like, oh my god, la la la, no, that's weird and gross and whatever. They're just like assessing where they're at. And we respect that. You know, it's way better to be honest and say, hey, this is something I need time to wrap my head around, rather than just be like really like awkward and guarded and walking around on eggshells around us, because like that's pretty easy to read if you feel that massively uncomfortable. And so, you know, we'd much rather you say, hey, let me catch up, than like force yourself to, you know, try to be open and active about all this stuff when you really don't feel like you can be. 3, don't panic. Don't immediately worry that everything that you say is going to offend us. We've had a couple people be like, okay, so I have questions, but I don't want to be offensive, or they like assume that they have to be like extra careful around certain things. Like, it's fine. It's okay. Unless you are actively trying to be offensive, you will not offend us. Like, you know, if you call someone by the wrong name, that's fine. If you can't guess who's out, that's fine. If you have a question that is like a normal human being question, you know, that's fine. You know, like obviously if someone comes up and is like, so who's like the sexiest or whatever, it'd be like, that is offensive and inappropriate, you know? But, you know, if you're like, okay, so I had a conversation with this part earlier, do you remember that conversation? Do you need me to repeat it? That's not offensive, even if you worry it might be. We will politely let you know if we don't feel comfortable answering a question or, you know, talking about a certain topic. And if you are stressed out about, you know, accidentally coming off as offensive because you want to be courteous, then I can extra promise you that you're not going to be offensive because you're trying so hard not to be. So just like try to relax as much as possible and don't feel like we're just gonna snap and be like, how dare you say this or that or whatever. Let the interactions flow naturally. After these, like, those first three are like the initial steps of kind of getting to know us or whatever, and like after that, like, I guess like learning curve of becoming more comfortable with us as a multiple, which sometimes that goes really quickly, sometimes that can take some time, and that's fine. But you know, once things start to become more comfortable, trying to use our names is something that's really important to us. We have some people forget and accidentally call us Win sometimes, you know, even if they know that it's one of the others out, like we introduced ourselves, you know, and that's fine. You know, again, we get that this is a foreign thing and people just aren't going to automatically like know and be able to like interact with us like another multiple would, you know? So don't, again, back to don't freak out, but even putting in effort to address us by our names is huge, because like there's real power in a name. It makes us feel valued and seen. It's a really simple gesture that holds a lot of positive weight. And so even just putting in the effort to try means so much to us. Number 5 on the list is actively welcoming each alter. Again, this is gonna come later, like once the person we're interacting with is like comfortable with the idea of our multiplicity and stuff. But a lot of us are very shy coming out around new people. You know, there's some timidness and some fear. Sometimes we need more than just a passive hello to feel safe coming out around other people. For example, if I came out around someone who I was intimidated by or something, and I said, hi, it's Kim, I hope it's okay that I'm out. And the person replied with, yeah, no, that's no problem. Or like, okay, whatever. And this is probably just like abuse brain talking, but like that kind of passiveness feels like insincere. Like, but what if they actually are really pissed at us for changing and they wanted to be around somebody else, but you know, they just feel like it'd be impolite to say that or something, you know, and so then we start feeling really awkward and self-conscious and stuff. Instead of like passively just being like acknowledging, if we introduce ourselves, saying, oh, hi, Kim. Yeah, of course it's okay that you're out. How have you been? Or something like that. Just like actively confirming that you appreciate us as an individual being out around you. Not that just like you'll tolerate us, but yeah, hi, how's it going? Heals that intimidation and self-consciousness a ton. That doesn't automatically mean that we're going to instantly be comfortable. Like Daniel, for example, even people who we've promised we will announce ourselves when we switch, Daniel still feels really hesitant to do that. Like he is still very self-conscious and is like, but I don't want to draw attention to things or whatever. But it still does help, you know, and it moves us forward in being able to overcome our own fears about being candid around, you know, a new person. Number 6, respect boundaries. Some of us love hugs. Kit loves hugs, Win loves hugs, Lido loves hugs. Some of us super do not. Ed will only make physical contact with someone who he super trusts. I am only a hugger with people that like I'm already friends with, like super good friends with, you know, so if it's just like somebody I see a couple times a week and they're like, give me a hug, goodbye, and I'm like, oh god, no thank you. You know, we're all going to have different comfort levels with different stuff. Even if you have trouble keeping track of who feels comfortable with what, you know, if you know that a topic or an action is not widely received, like universally received in the system, or if you've never interacted with an alter in a specific situation, asking is good. And if a no is laid down, respecting that no is essential. You know, I feel like that's the same as interacting with literally anybody, and that's like a basic respect thing, but I guess it can be, you know, I'm assuming that it can be a little more confusing and harder to keep track of with the system. Like, oh, me and Kit joke around about like that all the time. why can't I make that joke with you, Kim Kim? Because I am my own person, and I don't like that, and please respect my boundaries. You know, like, this is, again, this is just absolute basic level human respect, but it's very important that we're all not just lumped together, and that our individual boundaries, not just our system boundaries, but our individual personal boundaries, are respected and honored. Lastly, be patient with us. We do our absolute very, very best to be patient with other people when they're trying to get to know us, and at the very least, we would like that to, you know, be given back. You know, like I mentioned earlier with Daniel, you know, we have people who say, hey, please let me know who's out. I would, you know, I would appreciate that. That makes me feel more comfortable, you know, and Daniel doesn't. It's not that he is trying to be hurtful. That's just a really big obstacle for him to get over is, you know, drawing attention to himself as Daniel. So, you know, kind of please be understanding and patient that he will get to that point with you. You know, it's a little harder for him than it is for, like, myself or Kit. Please be patient when some of us don't remember things that you did with other alters. We have great communication, but there is still time loss with us. You know, not all the time. In fact, it's fairly infrequent, but it does happen. So if all of a sudden, you know, you're used to all of us kind of remembering the last few conversations that you had with various alters, but then, like, I come out and I have no idea what you're talking about, you know, please don't get frustrated with me. Be patient and recap where we're at so I can kind of, you know, get a gist of where we're going. We're not perfect, and we are not going to be like the perfect guides to interacting with us. Like, it's really easy for me to talk to a camera and say, this is what we prefer, but when I'm one-on-one with someone, you know, it's not always that easy in the moment to, like, guide people that way, because you have your own emotions and your own hang-ups and your own, like, internal monologue of, you know, fearfulness or whatever. You know, understand that we feel uncomfortable being out as a system sometimes, and understand that we are trying to overcome that, and understand that we are not perfect. You know, like, just like literally anybody else, you know, is gonna have their hang-ups and is gonna have their shortcomings. You know, ours may look different and be, like, more specific to, you know, a system, but, you know, please, just as you would be patient with anybody you've just met as they, you know, are getting to know you and you guys are getting your dynamic to flow, you know, please be patient with us as well. So those are 7 basic tips on how, you know, we as a system like to have anybody interact with us when they start to get to know about us. I feel like a lot of that is just basic human decency, and I feel like a lot of that is shared, you know, things that other systems will like too. Obviously, it's not going to be a universal list, and systems will be different. But overall, if you just stick to the rule of thumb of be respectful and courteous to anyone you meet, then you're probably going to be safe in your interactions with systems. So what about you systems out there watching? Do you have any points that are important to you when new people are interacting with you? Or, you know, things you would want to add or take away from the list I presented? And really anyone with, like, a prominent mental or physical health thing. Are there specific ways that you prefer people to interact with you that may be different from an able-bodied or a neurotypical mind might when it comes to interaction? I hope you guys found this video helpful and encouraging, and I hope you guys have a super great day. Johnny!
Hey everybody, it's Win. I want to give a big thank you shout out to Abby, Liz Joyce, and Shoshi Bauer, and all of our other patrons for supporting this channel and helping us be what we are. If you're interested in becoming a patron, a link to our Patreon is in the description below. If you are interested in sending fan mail of any kind, our P.O. Box address is also in the description below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all you in tropical fish have a super great day. Bye!